class. Welcome to third grade math. How are you today?
Good.
Good. And what are your names?
My name's Finley.
Rylan and Finley. Okay, well, welcome to third grade. So today we're going to do kind of a fun activity, and we're going to talk about fractions. So first I'd like to review some vocabulary about fractions. We're going to talk about relative numbers. Does anybody know what a relative number is? No? Relative is when you compare one to another. Like you've got a big heaping pile of candy here and a little tiny piece. And this is bigger relative to the other one. So you're comparing the two. We're also going to talk about fractions. We're going to talk about halves and thirds and quarters and fifths. So what do you know about fractions? Yes?
It's when you divide something into equal parts and then you name them. Like, so say you have a circle and you cut it in half, then there would be two halves.
Okay, great. And then if you cut it in three parts, it's in?
Thirds, fourths, fifths, and so forth.
Perfect, perfect. And do you know how, if you're ordering something, do you know the difference between greater than, equal to, or less than? Yes, how do you do greater than?
Well, greater than, it's like this, and it's like an alligator is eating the bigger number.
Right.
And then a bird is pecking the smaller number.
Okay, great. And if it's equal to?
It's equal to this.
Two lines. Perfect. Okay, great. So we have our vocabulary, I think, reviewed. And the objective today is to look at these different four individuals. It's going to be Owen, who has 5/8, Sarah, who has 1/2 of a piece of candy, Roger has 3/4, and Bill has 2/3. So we're going to start with strips of paper. We're going to label them into halves, thirds, quarters, and eighths. And then, after that, you can even tear them, or you can just lay all of those side by side, write the names, Owen, Sarah, Roger, and Bill. And in the end, I want to know who has the most, so write that name down here, and who has the least, and then compare them relatively with greater than or less than symbols, or equal to. And then once you have your answer and your strips of paper lined, raise your hand, excuse me. Write the names? Yeah, I think you can. Finley can help you with that. That's a good thing. So you guys are going to be partners in this, so you guys can talk about whoever does what. So, okay, and you guys will be partners, and you guys will be partners, so everybody has partners too. Yeah, all your classmates out there. So, okay, so I'm going to do an example before you get started. And this is a strip of candy, and we're going to put it into thirds. So I'm going to fold it into 3 parts, and I'm going to label it 0/3, which is equal to 0. Then I'm going to draw a line over here, and that's equal to 1/3. And this is 2/3 and 3/3 or 1. And so I'm going to get those labeled there and get them also in halves and quarters and eighths. And then I'm going to write these names on wherever on our number line. This is also a number line, like the strip of candy, because we're labeling it. And then we'll do our relative comparisons. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay. So I'm going to pause the camera for a little bit while you get your strips labeled. And then we'll start up in just a little bit after that activity. Okay, did you guys get the number line labeled?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have eighths, looks like halves, quarters, and thirds. Okay, so can you label the number lines with each name and then do a relative comparison?
Yeah.
Could you help her hold those down? Because this classroom fan is very strong. And you were just asking if you could kind of color in the squares, so you know. You certainly can do that if you want. You need to, if you could check her work after she's done, that would be great. So lay those together and then do your, write on the board which one has the most all the way to the least. I took your dry erase. Remember to use your greater than or equal to signs in between the names.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did anybody have equal amounts? No? And who had the most?
Roger did.
Okay. Roger Roger had 3/4. Okay, and then who had next?
And then there was Bill.
Okay. With how much did he have?
2/3.
2/3. And then what was next?
Owen.
Okay.
We had 4/8.
And then
Sarah, because she had half.
oh, she only had a half piece of candy. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. So now that you've shown me the work and that's you did it right, can you see that a fraction is only it's a number, but it's only part of a whole unit? Okay. And maybe kind of one thing, is there something that you think would have made this easier to understand from this lesson? No? What is there anything you learned or a particular thing you learned today?
I learned that even though it's a number, it's like sometimes only half or something.
It's a portion of that number. Okay. Okay. And what do you think if you pass somebody in the hallway today and you're really excited about math, what do you think you're going to tell them that you learned today?
I learned about fractions.
You learned about fractions. Okay. Rylan, what about you? Same? Did you learn about fractions a little bit? And about the alligator munching on the biggest number and the little bird pecking on it with the point going to the smaller number? That was a pretty good way to represent it. Okay, thank you guys. I look forward to the next class, and we might start talking about percentages in the next class. So, percentage.
Okay, bye.
Bye.